welcome back. I'm Gwen Lawrence and we're continuing today our discussion on the top 10 sport-related injuries and what we can do to prevent them. Today we're going to talk about the poor little shoulder. This is a very problematic joint and it's very vulnerable. It's structured very similar to the hip joint, except it's a lot more shallow. So the hip joint being nice and deep and a little bit more stable, the shoulder joint is a lot shallower. So it's a really common place for impingement, dislocation, and misalignments. So it's really important to not only stretch the surrounding tissue, but to strengthen the whole rotator cuff as well. And I'm going to give you some tools today to do that. So what you're going to do first is just sit easy cross-leg. And some of my athletes laugh because this isn't even so easy to sit like this. So what you're going to do is maybe get a block or a pillow, and you're going to go ahead and sit up on the block. If your hips are higher than your feet, it's a little easier to sit in this position. You could even, I have some athletes who sit on 2 or 3 blocks. So if you're sitting on the ground and you're looking a little bit like this, that might be an indication that you need a block. You're just going to sit here nice and tall, lift up through the top of your head, and sit right on the middle of your hips. You don't want to be forward. You don't want to be back. You're going to bring your arms out to the side. I'm going to warm up that shoulder joint a little bit before we do any openers. All you're going to do for 2 minutes is inhale, arms up to the sky, exhale, arms down. Okay, when you inhale, arms up, your palms are going to face up. When you exhale, arms down, palms face down. And you're just going to continue this movement, again, for 2 minutes. It's really good to have like a kitchen timer or something like that, so you don't have to be so focused on watching the clock. You could just be in the pose, be in the movement, and then once the clock beeps, you know you're done. So a couple of times. And when you reach your 2 minutes, when your clock beeps, interlace your fingers, press your palms up to the sky, and bring your hands into heart center. And that's all we're going to do for warming up. If you're accustomed to doing some arm circles forward and back, that's great as well. Anything you can do to get a little bit more warmth in that shoulder joint before we do some openings. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, and these look a little bit complicated, but once you get used to them, they're not as difficult as it seems. You're going to come onto your belly on the mat. This is a face down shoulder stretch. You're going to bring your right arm out to the right. And what's most important about this pose is that once you bring your arm out to the side, your hand is in alignment with your eyes. So in other words, I bring my arm out. This is my hand in line with my shoulder. That's not good. You want it up in line with your eyes. You don't want it all the way up here. You don't want it down here. You won't feel anything. Right in line with your eyes. Okay, then you're going to bend your left knee. You're going to put your left hand under your left shoulder. And now I'm going to have to turn my head on you, and I'm going to roll into the pose. Okay? So you can see there's several stages. I'll do it the other way so I can talk to you a little bit. Left arm out to the side, in line with my eyes. Right hand, bend my right knee, and roll. Some people are going to just be able to roll to here. Some of you are going to be able to ground that right foot, right knee up to the sky, and some are going to be able to ground both feet, both knees up to the sky until your butt is flat to the floor and rolling out nice and slow. You're going to hold that 1 to 2 minutes as well. The most amazing thing about that stretch is that it's not just about shoulder. You're getting anterior deltoid, you're getting some pec, you're getting the bicep tendon, and really helps with people that suffer from elbow tendonitis. A lot of my tennis players, this is a great one. With some of my golfers, a lot of my high movement upper body people, some of my basketball players, football players, certain positions. This is amazing for them. Okay, so that's a very simple one you can do once you get used to it, but it does open a lot of muscles all at once. Now we're going to lay on the back, okay? And this one is basically just anterior deltoid, just the front of the shoulder. It's a pretty localized stretch. So you're going to come onto your back, knees bent, feet flat. You're going to roll to the right a little bit so that you can bend that left elbow and bring your left palm under your back, face down. Okay, you're going to roll back to center. You could play around with how high it is depending on the flexibility of your shoulder. But what is important is that your wrist joint is under your back. Okay, you're not all the way across, but it's under just enough that you cover your wrist joint. If your wrist joint's hanging out and you go into this pose, there's going to be no stretch there. It's all going to come out through that wrist joint. Okay, so come back to center. For a lot of you, and this is a point of one of my weaknesses as well, is my anterior deltoid. For a lot of you, this might be enough. And you're going to notice your shoulders up in your face, your scapula's off the floor, your shoulder blades hanging out there and pointing into the floor. That's not good. What you want to do is sort of open this up and start settling that down into the floor. Okay, and you might just be able to hang out here. If you want to go a little further, you're going to slowly, and I mean slowly, because some of you have some very big, thick, strong legs, and if you bring them over really quick, that's going to override this poor little anterior deltoid. So very slowly, bring that left leg to the left. If that's okay, still want to go further, bring your right leg over as well. And you're starting to roll over onto this left side in time. The palm underneath your back remains flat on the floor. So I don't want this hand underneath me to start looking like this. It's flat, it's extended, and you're just going to hold it here, and you will feel it here. Okay, you're going to hold without force. Make sure nobody's near you goofing on you at this point. That'll come up and jump on you in this position. This is a great one for my wrestlers because they could find themselves in this position. And if their shoulder's able to take on that energy, they're going to be a lot more successful. Okay, so coming out of it, nice and slow, roll to the right so you give yourself some space to let it out. And you're going to need a little rebound time on that one. It's pretty deep and it's pretty intense. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Holding it, breathing. You can even close your eyes when you're in these positions just so that you can get a little relaxation, really focus on the muscle being stretched. Okay? So the other one is called eagle pose now. We're only going to do half eagle. Half eagle is usually a pose standing up, whereas balance and legs are involved. We're only going to use the upper part of eagle, so you could do it seated. You're going to bring your arms out to the side. And first side, we're going to bring the right arm under the left. You're going to bend the elbows so that your thumbs come in like they're going to poke yourselves in the eye. Nice image, right? So, after you do that, you're going to bring your right hand closer to your face, and you're going to try and bring it around so your palms touch. You're not doing this, not creating all this tension, staying nice and extended, okay? So, this could be about it. If you can't be here, backs of the hands together until someday you can be all the way around, okay? Do the best you can. Now we're going to bring, this might be enough, let me tell you, but now we're going to bring the elbows up shoulder height, and you're going to bring your hands a little bit more forward. So again, we're creating these nice, strong 90-degree angles. And you're going to feel it really nice in the back of the shoulder, upper back. You can play around with coming up or down, a little bit more forward or back, wherever you feel the stretch the best. Take some nice deep breaths in and out through your nose and hold 1 to 3, 4 minutes. You don't have to hold the shoulder stretches as long as the hamstring, quadricep stretches, because they're smaller muscle groups. So we don't have to worry about holding them. They're going to open up a little bit quicker. And now you're going to come onto your hands and knees, and we're going to open up the wrist joint a little bit. If your wrists are stiff, a lot of that tension is going to go there or be held there. It's going to come up into your shoulder and your elbow. So you just want to make sure this whole arm is nice and open so that we have the best benefits here for the shoulder. Onto your hands and knees. Right hand's going to turn out to the right. Left hand's going to turn out to the left. Shoulder, elbow, wrist. One nice line, equal space between each finger. Palms are flat. And you're going to lean to the right until you feel it in that right wrist. Some of you are flexible there, and you're going to be able to walk all the way over until you start to feel it. And you're going to hold here maybe just a minute. Walk back and try the other side. Walk back. Now you're going to turn the wrists around and bring the fingertips right up against your knees. For some of you, this is going to be enough, and you don't want to go any further. Same rules apply. Equal space between the hands, fingers, and the palm is totally flat on the floor. Hold it here. If you feel like you can do more, walk them out. Little at a time, until your wrists are right underneath your shoulders. Hold hold it there, push the floor away, try not to sink into your shoulders, into your neck, stay nice and extended. And if you want to go a little bit further still, you can think about leaning back. But don't go so far that you start peeling the wrists off the floor. That's too far. Just go back as far as you can to increase your stretch. To come out, right hand turns right, left turns left, right forward, and forward. And sit back, and what you're going to want to do is just roll out those wrists a little bit. Okay? So my favorite, we're going to end with wall walks, and that's why we're inside. Okay, this is the pièce de résistance. What you're going to do with this is not only strengthen the front of the shoulder or the top of the shoulder like we do in bench press or shoulder press, we're strengthening the whole rotator cuff, which is really important. We're not leaving any weak spots in the shoulder at all. This is a tough one, okay? This one's going to take some time, especially if you're a big guy. I do recommend you do all the other stretches and openers prior to this so that the wrists are open. You feel a lot of blood flow. You don't feel any stiffness. You're going to have a wall, and you're going to come up against it. Okay? You're going to come into down dog. Alright? You're going to bring one leg up the wall, other leg up the wall. So for some of you, you're just going to stay here. That's about all you can handle. I don't think I can go any further, and that's fine. You're going to build up some strength. You're going to build up some comfort just being upside down, okay? If you can go further, you're going to bring the leg up, up, and the idea is to walk back with your hands up with your feet until your hands are about 6 inches from the wall and you're holding a handstand. Push the floor away, equal space between your fingers, couple deep breaths, and you're going to walk it out in control. Walk, walk, walk. One leg comes down, other leg comes down. You're in your plank pose, chaturanga, upward dog, and downward dog. And then you would do it again, okay? 4 times. You're going to work up to 4 times. Once you get 4 times, you feel really comfortable and strong, you're going to do 4 sets of 4 for a total of 16. Strengthen the wrists, elbow, whole shoulder socket, chest, back, abs, all encompassing. It's amazing. You're going to hate it at first. It's going to be very uncomfortable for a lot of you just to even be upside down, like I said. But give it some time, practice. You may even want someone nearby you to kind of spot you at the waist because you feel a little off balance. That's great. Okay? So try it barefoot also. You don't want to have shoes on and scuff up the wall or even break through the wall. Make sure it's a nice, secure, solid wall. Alright, so enjoy. Try those. I think you're going to make a lot of progress opening up your shoulder with those. And good luck.